Hey, hi. It's the 27th of July, 2010, and I wanted to continue telling you a little bit about I've just done my escape story for people who haven't seen it. I recommend you watching it. It's pretty good. But it tells how I escaped out in July of 2000, 10 years ago. And this is sort of like what's happened day by day in the next few days, up until something that's coming up, and then that'll be it. But this was, I think, around the fourth day after I'd gotten to Clearwater. And Bob Minton and Stacy Brooks, who ran the Lisa McPherson Trust, had invited me over to the trust. And I'd been kind of like there watching them and listening all day long. Parents were calling and calling and calling, asking about their children and could we help them, and how can they get their kid out of the C organization, or their children are talking to them, or their loved one, or their husband, or their wife. And it was just unbelievable how many people were flying in. I was meeting people. It was just like this plethora of people. A ton of critics flew in for a picket we had, and now I'm part of the picket. That's why I wore my red horns, because I knew Scientology, because I used to be in Clearwater all the time on OT7. So I knew they'd say, that's Tori, she's out handling the critics. So I wore those horns specifically to say, to make fun of their SP Declare, which I haven't shown you in a while. So here it is. Happily, proud, I'm declared a suppressive person. There you go. By the Church of Scientology. Okay, so there you go. But at the time, I hadn't quite been declared yet, or at least I didn't know it. No, I hadn't been yet. But anyway, I was out picketing with Bob, and I think Arnie was there. Arnie had flown in, and Bunker was there. And Bunker has a lot of videos of the Clearwater time. It was pretty kooky, but we were having a good time. And this day, Bob said, "Why don't we go down and visit your parents, who at the time lived 2 hours south in Fort Myers, Florida?" And I said, "Okay, that sounds cool." Now remember, I'm still like kind of dancing around figuring out who these people are. I don't really know them. They seem very nice. They've been very kind to me. But, it's kind of like, okay, we're going to see my parents. So we're driving down to see them. It's 2 hours away. And all of a sudden, I can't remember if it was Bob or Stacy says, "Oh, yeah, we're going to see the Whitfields." Now, if you don't know who the Whitfields are, Hannah and Jerry Whitfield, in Scientology, what they say is they were deprogrammers, right? And they make them out to be these really evil people that hurt people and stuff like that, which of course they were not, and they helped a ton of people wake up and get out of the Church of Scientology. But anyway, it scared me because I was like, the Whitfields, until I met them. And of course, again, just like Bob and Stacy and Jesse, they were like these super, super, super nice people. Even though I had been told in my head, they're these evil, horrible people, right? And then you meet them, and it's just so like, it's like a house of cards just going down. I mean, it's so filled with lies. So we went and saw my parents, and then we went over and had lunch with the Whitfields, and that was great. They were super nice. And we came back to Clearwater, and the day's evolving on, right? I'm meeting people, I'm picketing, I'm out, we'd made a video, we were sitting over at, I think this happened around now, where we were just sitting around talking, and so much stuff was coming out that I said, we gotta start putting this on videotape, because it's just incredible stuff. Now, I wasn't planning on making a video, but it was like, this was, sort of like them talking about it anyway. So that was one thing. Then, that's all I'm going to say about that for day 4 in Clearwater at that time. Today, roll forward 10 years later, and we went and picketed over at the complex just for a very brief time. But sure enough, we didn't even have signs or anything. It was just me and Casper. We're walking down the street, and, we walked onto the street, and there was like 5, 8 people. And within I'd say less than 5 minutes, the complete street was empty except for a security guard. And that continued until we left. Then we went around the block and came back, and people they'd let out. So they just pull these people in just because I'm there and I'm a declared suppressive. Like, that's going to hurt them or something like that. And Scientology and Miscavige, you got to realize these kind of things definitely are not helping you in any way, shape, or form. They're not. And now today, Anon Sparrow has been in court, who's another Scientology critic and an ex-member, and has peacefully picketed for a long time. But, I know Scientology and I know how sneaky they are. And you've got to realize if you're going to picket, first of all, I don't recommend picketing every day. I don't. Because most of the people that have picketed every single day, not all, every single person who's gotten into legal trouble, that's one of the things most of them did was picket every single day. So I don't recommend that. And I've always said this, be peaceful, go by the laws, right? And the laws protect us if we're peacefully picketing. Jeff Jacobson writes up a great, if I can find it, I'll put it in the notes, but it's called the Ghandi Tech. And it's really a great way to picket, where you're just peacefully picketing and educating people. So you're pretty safe on that too, because the laws back you up on it. So I think that's all I'm going to say for today. I just kind of wanted to tell you about day 4 a little bit more. It was very exciting for me. Again, I'm on the internet talking to people. And again, because on the internet, remember, they all turned against me when I first woke up and posted Magoo left the building. So for me, I looked at it like this gigantic puzzle with tons of spaces that were not filled in. And it was up to me to fill in my spaces that I knew. And then other people, you know what I mean? And pretty soon it all starts filling in. And I still feel that's kind of that way. Like people now have different things about different people, and they're like, they should say this and they should say that. Well, people unfold at different levels and at different times and at their own speed. And my thing is, let's help everybody as much as we can to get out of there and restart their life. Okay, so there you go. That's me on the 27th of July, 2010. I hope you're having an excellent beginning of the week. Peace out. And there's my little peace sign. And I will talk to you cats soon. Bye-bye.